This is a quick little video coaching on how to roll. And for those of you that are new to rolling, the gym has a couple of rollers that you can use. If you're a beginner, the foam roller is probably more comfortable than the rollers that have the texture to them. The more texture, the deeper the roller is going to push onto the muscles. And so it may feel a little bit more uncomfortable if you find like a tight area or um, a little tender area. And then we also have rollers that have a switch on so that you can, on top of rolling, provide some of that vibration, um, which is going to mobilize the tissues even more. So this is taking it to another level. As you get used to rolling, and this has 3 different speeds. As you begin to roll, you want to consider the area that you want to mobilize. Today, for example, the workout included a lot of squats, a lot of box jumps, mountain climbers, bicycling. So it was a lot of lower body. So I'm going to start there today. So pick an area. I'm going to pick my front of my legs or my quads. Think of that muscle belly being in the middle of the leg, and that's where you want to keep the rolling area onto. You don't want to roll over bone or bony structures. And when you roll, the muscle bellies should feel soft. They shouldn't have necessarily any knots or any areas that really hurt. As we roll, you are going to position the roller underneath. So let me use the quads as an example. And you want to use the body weight to provide that pressure to the muscle belly. So for example, I'm going to move to the crease of my hip area, this line here that separates the leg from my trunk, and I'm going to start there. And as I sit and put my weight onto the roller, we are providing what's called a pressure wave. That pressure just has the weight of my body onto the muscle, and it's squeezing any areas, any fluids, any lactic acid is putting pressure on that muscle, making it long and mobilizing the skin over the fascia, over the muscle, over the deeper muscle area. So then you can roll a little bit more into that quad. And for example, for me, I just felt a little area of tenderness there. So you can flex and extend your leg and just sit there. And this is why I say if you can roll for at least 10 to 15 minutes, you can really obtain benefits from this. So right there, my right side and my left side don't feel the same. I have a little more tenderness on the left. So I'm going to go ahead and pay a little more attention to that. And then I'm going to come back up. So I'm just putting my dead weight onto the roller as I go. After you do the front of the muscle, belly, you are going to rotate to the left side of that muscle. And of course, the other side is doing the opposite. The sides of the muscle belly may be a little more tender. So you'll want to find those knots. We're trying to restore the length of that muscle that might be a little bit short after all of the squatting and the bicycling, the flexion at the hip level. And of course, in my particular example, I drive a lot, so I'm sitting a lot. So my muscles tend to be a little bit short in the hip flexor area. And we're going to adapt to what we do a lot of. So I like to work on a lot of mobility to counteract all of the sitting that I do. After you do the one side of the muscle belly, turn your leg the other way. So now I'm doing more the inner thigh on that right leg and the outer thigh on the left leg. And you're gonna find those knots and we're gonna put pressure on those areas. Breathe to be able to relax and then move to a different area. And this will allow time for the tissue to get long. It doesn't feel necessarily comfortable, but it's like a good pain. You shouldn't experience any horrible pain. You should not experience anything like you're tearing anything, because if that's what you're feeling, you probably are tearing something. So use your instinct. It should feel like a masseuse, like a deep tissue massage, which really is what it is. So that will encompass rolling my quadriceps. Of course, you then would be able to go to your calves and do the same thing. This is a little bit of a bony section, but you can do the right side, the left side. You can stand on your arms. You can go on your elbows. You can do one leg, put one leg on the ground, put the other leg on the roller. And then we turn around, doing the other side of the body, starting with the buttocks. Typically, that feels really, really good. And you may find some knots here. And again, you're going to breathe and sink into the, you can always flex and extend to provide more of a mobility effect. And then you start rolling. So again, there are two techniques. One is you sit on the knot as you find it. And the second technique is to actually massage and roll slowly over the target area. Slower is better when we're rolling because we provide more pressure and we increase the positive effects of what the rolling is all about. So think of ungluing tissues that are tight, tissues that have been shortened and might be literally stuck together. So this is going to mobilize, creating that pliability of the tissue. So after you do your hamstrings, I'm not going to do all of the body just to keep the video kind of short, but you get the idea. You're going to then do your calves, and you do the same thing. You do the muscle belly. You can sit like this. You can always keep one leg up, and you can get on your arms so that you can put a little more pressure. And then the upper body. Whenever we have a day that includes a lot of upper body strength or requirements like pull-ups or push-ups, it's a great idea to roll the back, put in your arms behind your head. It's going to allow you to open up the back area a little bit more. If you feel some popping, as long as it feels good, keep doing it. And again, you're going to go all the way to your upper body. As you get better, you can improve your flexibility by doing a back bend. You can hold your head to protect your neck. And then you want to do the sides of the back. Get some of those obliques, some of the lats, all the back muscles, some of the core muscles. It feels really, really good. So again, the difference between this roller and this roller, this has more intensity. And you can add the vibration, which is going to add that percussion, which mobilizes even more. It feels really, really good. So you can try that after a workout every time. Prescription usually is 10 to 15 minutes daily. It doesn't have to be rolling every single day, but this is just one mobility tool that we have at the gym. So rolling, the next video will feature the T-balls and the lacrosse balls so that you can also incorporate those tools into your routine. And we're talking about keeping your body fine-tuned to perform at its best. Mobility plus strength plus nutrition plus recovery should give us a pretty good prescription for wellness.